I'm here with Katrina Rogers. She leads basically K Rogers Consulting. Um, I'd love to, maybe you can briefly describe yourself and what you do in your company.
Sure. So I'm a quality leadership expert, and I have over 25 years of experience in pharmaceutical and medical device discovery, development, and manufacturing. I use that expertise in a lot of ways in the ecosystem, but one of which is my eponymous consulting firm, Katrina Rogers Consulting. And I work for life science founders and the investors who live to serve them to help them solve their problems and get their medical products from bench to bedside.
That's fantastic. So I see you do a lot of presentations and webinars and everything else. Can you tell me a little bit how video plays in the part of your strategy?
Well, I like to use video in a couple of ways. I know that people sometimes feel rushed. They want to have a little short snippet of content or a little piece of advice when they're looking for something. They don't really want to go into a deep dive. That's one of the other things that I'm known for is pretty lengthy deep dive articles, but want to try to make some of that a little bit more accessible to folks. So using the short form video allows me to create a fairly short script and pull something together quickly, but that is really meaningful for my audience. The second way that I like to use video is, of course, to do interviews. And this year I started doing a series of thought leader interviews, and they've been very well received by my audience.
That's fantastic. What challenges were you facing with video creation before using Pictory?
Well, you can spend a lot of time working on videos, making them perfect, getting the little pieces right, adding the front piece, adding the back piece, making sure the voiceover is right. When I first saw Pictory, I thought, oh, this is a very interesting tool and interesting way for me to shortcut some of those things. Well, I was working with a marketing person at the time too, and so he was helping me figure some of those pieces out.
Okay.
But as I've evolved and moved to doing more of this work all by myself, I realize I do not have a lot of time to spend. And so I need to leverage the smart tools like Pictory in order to maximize the time that I have for my highest value add work as opposed to the time that is more of the messaging kinds of work.
Absolutely. And how did you discover Pictory?
That is a really good question. I want to say that it was likely through one of my Substack subscriptions. So
Okay.
someone had referred Pictory to me. It was either that or I used to belong to a little club that would elevate new apps, new different kinds of apps. And I cannot remember the name of the club, but I'm
Yeah.
pretty confident when I saw it, I thought, it just arrived at the right time. I was thinking about doing small, short video content, and I'm like, well, what can I use? And that's definitely a rabbit hole that you could spend a lot of time just looking for the right tool, too. So, very
Did you look,
fortuitous.
did you look at other tools besides Pictory?
So I have a Mac platform, so I've used some of the platform tools on the Mac, but again, they're not an end-to-end solution. And
Right.
so I find that it's super easy for me to either upload a script or upload a trimmed video file into Pictory, and I can make the content very quickly.
That's fantastic. So what features, you said a script to video, you have
Mhm.
to upload other videos. Have you used things like PowerPoint to video if you're doing presentations or some of the other features, recording, like web recording
I have not yet used any of those features, but your quick reminder there about using sort of a PowerPoint to video, that could be pretty fascinating. I think that's the other thing that's super nice about Pictory is the extent of the content that you've procured for us to use. This is another thing that you can spend a lot of hours working on, pulling together content, pulling together still images, things that are just right. While I would like the search functionality to be a little bit easier to use or a little bit sharper to use. I get it. The metadata on your images is what it is, and so we have to try to work with the tool. But at the same time, I'm still able to I think illustrate some pretty sophisticated concepts within the images that are available.
Well, fantastic. Well, just to let you know, we are improving that every day. So we are working on that. We hear that a lot. So thank you for that feedback. How easy or difficult was it to get started with Pictory?
It was not difficult at all. So Pictory provides some really nice short videos to show to kind of get you started. For people who are button pushers and switch flippers like me, it's really easy. Just start poking at it.
Yeah.
You'll get somewhere. Sometimes I end up with a result that I'm like, that's a little weird, but it's fairly easy to start over and fairly easy to course correct in the middle. There have been a couple of times when I've had some issues, reached out to support, but generally a workaround, I've been able to figure out a workaround pretty quickly.
So how often do you create videos in Pictory?
I will find that sometimes I'll have a big surge of creativity. I'll have a bunch of content that I can make all at once. So I'll make several pieces, but usually what I'm targeting is at least one piece of video content a month. So that's, on a monthly basis, I'm in the platform.
Fantastic. And so what measurable benefits have you seen since adopting Pictory?
I think generally my audience has responded really well to the video content.
Okay.
I post it on my Substack newsletter. I also post it in my YouTube. So
Okay.
I know, again, there are people who have preferable channels, and some folks just really like the more of the video content. So I have some steady subscribers on the YouTube who like the new stuff. And so I think that just being able to quickly put something together, or when I'm in the middle of an idea, and I have some content around it, or I have some thought that I want to share, but maybe it's not enough to do a long form article. The video option is a perfect way to go.
Fantastic. Have you talked to others about Pictory?
I have only spoken to the previously mentioned marketing person. So this is really be the first time I have had a chance to talk to others about my experience with Pictory.
Okay, fantastic. And when you talk to others, we're hoping you do, what would you, in kind of one sentence or 1 to 2 sentences, what would you tell people about Pictory?
I would say that if you want to do video content, it is a quick way to get started, to put together some very professional and polished pieces without spending a tremendous amount of your time.
Fantastic. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the Pictory team?
Anything else that I'd like to share? I will say that I do appreciate the fact that you're always making updates. So I would encourage you, obviously, to be thinking about customer journey and thinking about how to make our lives a little bit easier. And I've definitely seen, so I've been on the platform for, I believe, more than a year now. And there's a context for, I've seen it evolve. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the future.
Great. Thank you for your time.